The screen fades in on a rainy night, tires splashing through puddles outside a small auto shop glowing with a single fluorescent light. You're watching this because deep down, you believe in justice, the kind that hits when the powerful think no one's looking. But what if I told you that refusing to pay a struggling single dad just $199 would trigger a chain of events ending in $19 million handed over in cash? Stick with me until the end, because this true-feeling tale of heartbreak, resilience, and redemption will remind you why kindness always circles back. If you're inspired even a little, smash that like button right now and subscribe for more stories that restore your faith in humanity. Let's dive in. Alex Thompson wiped grease from his calloused hands, staring at the clock ticking past 8 p.m. The little bell above the shop door had rung only once that day. His daughter Emily, 7 years old with wide curious eyes and a persistent cough that no cheap medicine could fully silence, sat in the corner doing homework under a blanket. "Daddy, can we get pizza tonight?" she asked softly, her voice hopeful but already braced for the usual, "Maybe next week, kiddo." Alex forced a smile, the kind single parent's perfect after years of stretching every dollar. "We'll see, Em. Finish your math and we'll talk." At 34, Alex looked older, lines etched around his eyes from late nights and early mornings. 5 years ago, his wife Sarah had passed from complications after Emily's birth. Medical bills had devoured their savings. He sold their house, moved into the tiny apartment above the shop, and poured everything into Thompson's Auto Repair, a modest garage on the edge of a fading industrial town. He was more than a mechanic, he was a gifted tinkerer who could diagnose problems others missed, often fixing things for free when customers couldn't pay. But pride and love for his daughter kept him going. Emily's latest doctor visit loomed, possible asthma worsening, maybe even something more serious. The $199 invoice sitting on his desk felt like oxygen. That same afternoon, a sleek black luxury sedan had pulled in, driven by Victoria Harrington. She was the picture of success, sharp-tailored suit, designer sunglasses, and the impatient aura of someone who measured time in quarterly earnings. At 38, Victoria was CEO of Harrington Dynamics, a tech manufacturing empire her father had built from nothing. She tapped her manicured nails on the steering wheel while Alex worked. "It's making a strange rattling noise on the highway," she said curtly, barely glancing at him. "Fix it fast. I have a board meeting in 2 hours." Alex nodded politely, diving under the hood. Within minutes he found it, a loose heat shield and a failing sensor that could have led to bigger engine trouble. He replaced the sensor with a compatible high-quality part from his limited stock and secured the shield. Total parts and labor, $199. Fair. Honest. When he presented the bill, Victoria's expression soured. $200 for that? You're joking. This is highway robbery. I could have my own team do it for less. She waved her hand dismissively. I'm not paying this. Consider it a learning experience for overcharging customers like me. Alex stood stunned as she climbed back into the car. Ma'am, I have a daughter to feed. The parts alone. Save it, she snapped, already pulling away. Small businesses like yours need to learn value. The taillights disappeared into traffic. Alex sat on an old tire, head in hands. $199 wasn't just money, it was groceries for the week, half the rent, and the copay for Emily's specialist. That night, Emily's cough worsened. Alex stayed up rocking her, singing the lullaby Sarah used to sing, tears stinging his eyes. He whispered promises he wasn't sure he could keep. Daddy's got you, Em. Always. Meanwhile, Victoria barely gave the encounter another thought. She arrived at her penthouse, poured a glass of expensive wine, and reviewed quarterly reports. Success had hardened her. After her mother's death when she was young, her father Richard had drilled into her one lesson above all: never show weakness in business. Compassion was a liability. She slept soundly, unaware that her refusal had shattered a man's fragile world. 24 hours later, everything changed. Richard Harrington, the reclusive billionaire founder of the empire, was in his private study when his head of security entered. "Sir, there's something you should see." Footage from the garage near the old plant. "Your daughter's car was serviced there yesterday." Richard raised an eyebrow. He was 72, silver-haired, with eyes that had seen factories rise and markets crash. Retirement had softened some edges, but not his sense of fairness. He watched the security feed his team had pulled, cameras from the street and Alex's own modest shop setup. He saw the repair. He saw Victoria drive off without paying. Then he saw something else that made his hand tremble: Alex, after she left, carefully documenting the work anyway, then turning to comfort his coughing daughter with a hug that spoke volumes. But the real shock came when Richard ran the mechanic's name through deeper channels. Alex Thompson. Former mechanical engineer. Patents filed years ago on fuel efficiency systems that Harrington Dynamics had quietly acquired and profited from through a shell company after Alex's wife died and he fell into grief-stricken obscurity. The man had genius in his hands. And they had let him rot in a garage while profiting off his ideas. Richard's face darkened. He made calls. By evening, he was in a black SUV heading to the small shop, a briefcase on the seat beside him. Alex was closing up when the convoy arrived. He expected more trouble. Instead, an older man stepped out, immaculately dressed, and extended a hand. "Mr. Thompson? I'm Richard Harrington. I believe my daughter wronged you yesterday." Alex blinked, wiping his hands. "Sir, I don't want any trouble. Just trying to make a living." Richard's voice cracked with unexpected emotion. "Trouble? Son, I've spent my life building things, but I forgot what it means to build people. My Victoria, she's brilliant, but she's forgotten the weight of small kindnesses. That $199? You'll never worry about money again if I have anything to say about it." What followed was a conversation that stretched into the night. Richard sat in the shop's worn chairs, listening as Alex opened up, about Sarah's death, Emily's health scares, the nights he chose between formula and rent, the quiet pride in every engine he revived. Richard shared his own regrets, missing his daughter's childhood while chasing contracts, the emptiness wealth sometimes brought. He examined Alex's old blueprints, still tucked in a drawer, and marveled at innovations that had quietly boosted his company's bottom line by tens of millions. "I'm not here to just pay a bill," Richard said, voice thick. "I'm here to make it right. Your work on my daughter's car wasn't ordinary. You prevented a failure that could have endangered her. But more than that, you're the mind behind systems my engineers still reference. We owe you far more than recognition." He opened the briefcase. Stacks of documents and a check. First, $199 for yesterday, with interest. But that's nothing. Here's compensation for past patents, royalties never paid. Development rights. And an investment, $19 million to expand this shop into a full research and repair facility. Your name on it. Emily's future secured, best doctors, best schools, whatever she needs. Alex stared, tears streaming freely now. Why? After everything? Because a man who fixes cars with love while raising a daughter alone deserves the world handed back, Richard replied, his own eyes glistening. And because I failed to teach my daughter that real power protects the vulnerable. This is my apology to you, and my lesson to her. Victoria arrived the next morning, summoned by her father. The confrontation was raw. Richard played the footage. He showed her Alex's patents. For the first time in years, Victoria's armor cracked. She saw the single dad not as a nuisance but as a father who mirrored the one she had taken for granted. Tears fell as she apologized, not the polished CEO version, but a genuine, broken one. I was cruel because it was easy. I'm sorry. In the weeks that followed, transformation rippled outward. Alex's shop became Thompson Harrington Innovations, employing locals and giving back to the community. Emily's health improved with top care, she laughed freely, her cough fading. Victoria changed too, mentoring young entrepreneurs, implementing fairer policies, visiting the shop often to learn humility from Alex. Their unlikely friendship grew, built on shared respect and the memory of one rainy afternoon's injustice. Richard passed away peacefully a few years later, but not before seeing his daughter become the leader he always hoped she could be, compassionate yet strong. At his funeral, Alex stood beside her, Emily holding both their hands. The message is simple yet profound: never underestimate the ripple of a single act of decency, or indecency. The world is full of hidden heroes fixing what's broken in silence. When we choose kindness over convenience, mountains move. When we refuse it, the universe has a way of balancing the scales in spectacular fashion. If this story touched you, the struggle of a father, the redemption of power, the healing power of second chances, hit like, leave a comment with your own story of unexpected justice, and subscribe for more tales that remind us we're all in this together. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Share it with someone who needs hope today. Because in a world quick to dismiss the little guy, stories like Alex's prove that good always finds its way home. And remember, the next time someone asks for $199, think twice. It might just be the beginning of something worth millions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next story.